little bit of this. Turn on the volume. And it is 7:01. So in order to respect your time, we'll get started. So I'm Liz. You might know me. If you don't, I'm going to be your fabulous tour guide. Well, not tour guide necessarily, but your group leader for the trip to the Galapagos. So thanks for joining us. I know it's been kind of a while since we last met, but our trip is in 2024. So don't really have a lot going on right now for it other than to keep you excited and engaged and ready to go. So tonight, I was hoping that someone from our cookie sales would be here, but I don't see her in the waiting room. She may show up. I know she had a long weekend, especially with the announcement of cookies being a little bit later than usual this year. So if you've heard about that, which I'm sure you have, she's pretty tired. So I can see why she maybe wouldn't want to be on this call. But I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you might have about, excuse me, travel troops and selling cookies and all that jazz. I also have a holiday gift giving guide because it's never too early to start thinking about preparing for this trip, and what better time of year than to do it during the holidays. So I have a holiday gift giving guide of things that you might need or things that you can ask for during the holiday season or for birthdays or whatever things, special things that people give you gifts for. And then last but not least, I found 20 interesting facts about the Galapagos that I would like to share. So we'll do all of those things tonight. And like I said, I'll be respectful of your time and we'll end a little bit before 8. I do want to let you know that we probably will meet, I'm going to say like quarterly-ish, of course, during the cookie season and cookie sales. Anyone who's selling cookies will get together sooner rather than later to get all that under control and make sure you have what you need. If you do plan to do cookie sales for this trip. So then probably, I don't know, mid cookie season or after cookie season, we'll have another meeting just to touch base. And then after the summer in fall 2023, we will start having monthly meetings. So right now I'm having monthly meetings with my Japan trip, and we meet the first Sunday of every month. And so Galapagos will sort of shift into that first Sunday of every month, if that works for everyone. And we'll start talking about the amazing things that we're going to do and see. So we're going to talk about language and culture and Darwin, of course, and the animals that we're going to see, what the tour is going to be like, what to expect from food and hotels, all of those things. So each month we'll have a different topic, and it's been a little bit easier to find some guest speakers to come in and talk about Japan. Not sure how many guest speakers I'm going to be able to find that have come from the Galapagos and or Ecuador, but I'm going to try. So we may have some guest speakers, maybe have some Spanish lessons. So we'll see how that goes. So that's kind of a plan for where we are right now. Does anyone have any questions or want to shout out anything? There's only like 6 of us on this call tonight. So feel free to unmute yourself, or if you want to throw something in the chat, that's fine too. And I'd be more than happy to just chat with you all. Usually there's like 40 people in my Japan meeting, so it gets a little chaotic. But tonight is nice and easy going. So how are you? How's everybody doing? Did you have a good weekend? It snowed here. I'm in Syracuse. I don't know where you all are, but I got a little bit of snow on the ground. How's everybody doing? Good. I'll take your nods as a as a good thumbs up. I can see Madeline, you look like you're eating dinner probably, right? It's about that time. I literally just finished. I had to go upstairs and like floss my teeth. I'm like, I gotta get on a meeting. So yeah, anyways, great. So we are going to move forward with cookies. So have you all heard the cookie shenanigans that are going on? I'm a little like more removed than most people, I think, because I go traveling and I do camps. I don't necessarily deal with cookies. So cookies are delayed a little bit. Cookie season is not going to be starting until, I don't know, the end of January, and booths are going to be like end of March and sort of into April, over Easter and through spring break. So it's a little bit later than is necessary. I'm not going to give you my opinion either way on that. I think, well, okay, I will. What am I even saying? I totally will. I think it's awesome. I would love to get Girl Scout cookies in my Easter basket. Not gonna lie, like if I had that choice, I totally would. I think having like booth sales during Easter is gonna be awesome and like a key part of your sales. So anyways, Passover, or cookies there for Passover? I don't even know. I have no idea. But I know coming from like my Easter background, I would enjoy some trefoils in my Easter basket. So I think that'll be better. I think it'll be a little bit warmer. I think everyone's gonna probably be okay with it. So that being said, if you want to sell cookies for the travel troop, did anyone here sell cookies last time for travel troop? No. So basically what happened last year, which is looking like it's going to happen this year as well, is that I'm going to be your troop leader essentially in eBuddy. So if you are part of a traditional troop, you're going to stay part of that traditional troop and you can sell cookies for them, do whatever you normally do with your traditional troop. If you want to sell cookies for this travel troop, for your Galapagos trip, you can, and I will manage that on the backside. So you're not going to be in eBuddy in two different troops. You won't even be in eBuddy like in our Galapagos 2024 troop. I have an Excel spreadsheet. I kept track of it all last year. I ponied cookies around the council to make sure everyone got what they needed. As the troop leader, I was able to book booths. So I got a bunch of booths in like Destiny, Walmarts all over the council, those types of things. And they sort of threw it out there and said, whoever wants this booth, it's at 2 o'clock on Sunday, April 11th, wants to take it, first come, first serve. And folks did that. When you are earning money or selling cookies for the Galapagos trip, what you sell is yours. So it's not going to be split through the travel troop. There's too many of us and there's too many people spread out all around. So if you sell for the travel troop at a booth, whatever you sell, you're going to get that money for those cookies that you sell. It's not going to be split with anyone. So what will happen is that I will keep track. I'll tell you how much you've earned, and we don't do rewards for the travel troop just because your reward is going on the trip and that's why you're selling cookies. So depending on the amount of cookies that you sell, you'll get the highest level of return on per box that you can get. And last year, a lot of girls got 95 cents on their box, every box that they sold, because they sold, 250 or 277 or whatever the threshold is. And then I just sent a check to EF and I applied it to your trip. And so it got applied directly to your trip. You didn't have to deal with any money. It just kind of appeared in your account and it was done. So if that's something that you're interested in, feel free to let me know. I'll be sending out an email as it gets a little bit closer just to make sure that if you're on board, you have everything that you need. But otherwise, that's it. The other thing that you can do, I think in your traditional troops, and this is why I was hoping Jacqueline would be on this call, you can earn experience money, I guess. Remember like adventure dollars or whatever that they were giving away, cookie dough, that kind of thing. You can earn money towards camp. So if you sell X number of boxes, you can earn like 50% off camp or $300 towards camp or whatever the prizes are this year. This year, they're doing it so that it's like $300 towards camp or $300 towards this trip. So however you want to apply that reward or that award for your selling of your cookies, you can apply it towards this trip too. And they're cumulative. So if you did, if you sold fall product and you got some adventure bucks or whatever they're calling it for fall product, it's cumulative with cookies. And if you're selling and getting those adventure like experience rewards in your traditional troop, I don't know how, but somehow they're cumulative and you can earn this level. And then if you are like go up a level, like if you earn 150 here and then you like go up to the next level, you can earn 300 here and then you can combine them for 450 and you can apply it to this trip. So there's some sort of nuance there, but they're trying to make it easier for girls to go on these trips as opposed to getting like another plush monk seal that you that you have to deal with at your house. So I personally would rather have money towards this trip. I know like the plushies are cool and some of the other stuff is kind of neat too, but that's a great way to earn money for this trip. So just throwing that out there. You have 2 more cookie seasons to go before the trip starts and you have 1 more fall product. Yeah, 1 more fall product before cookie season as well. So there's lots of ways for you to earn money, at least from council, for going on this trip. You guys have any questions, comments, concerns? I know I'm not being super clear and they change it every year. So every time I'm like, yeah, I totally have this down, it's different. No idea. I feel like that's real though. All of the things I just said are real. But if they're not, I will correct them and give you the real information as soon as I can. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to drop them in the chat. If not, I don't know, sell some cookies, earn some money. It'll be good times. It'll be warmer and you can pop some cookies in your Easter basket. Any questions? Anything else? No? All right. Good. Okay, on to the holiday guide. So I'm going to share my screen with you real quick here. We're going to talk about some things that you might need for your trip and things that you can ask for this holiday season. Can you all see my holiday gift giving guide here? Got it up on my screen. So if you're like me and my children, if I have to buy another box of Legos to step on and accumulate in my children's bedrooms, I will not be pleased. If they were going on this trip, I would certainly be buying them items to take on their trip with them. So this is not a comprehensive list whatsoever. These are just some things that some folks that have gone on trips before and myself kind of recommend for a trip like this. So I'm going to post this in the Facebook group, and I'm also going to send out the link to this meeting afterwards. So I'll put the PDF version of this on Facebook and in that email as well, in case you want the links to any of these things. So these are pretty much all Amazon links. A few really great things that you can have for this kind of trip. The passport holder that you can go around on your neck. I don't know if you've ever seen something like this, or a money belt. So when I say a money belt, it's kind of like a really thin, flat fanny pack that goes underneath your clothing. This trip, however, you're going to be wearing bathing suits a lot of the time. This is a very water-oriented trip. I can't imagine that you're going to have a lot of clothing on at one point in time. So something that can go around your neck, if you choose to have a passport holder, would be probably a better option than a money belt that would go like close to your skin. The other thing that's a little bit further down on the list is a crossbody, like a sling bag. I've been using a sling crossbody bag for most of my trips to Europe. I've used it 4 or 5 times now, and it's fantastic. It has a little pocket for that's close to my body for passports and for money and for things like that. Let me see what happens when I click on this guy. Anything? Let's see what Amazon brings up here. I highly recommend a crossbody, like sort of sling bag here. Let's see what that is. Oh, that's like a little travel purse here, right? That's kind of neat. Hold on, let me bring this up here real quick. Oh, you can only see my Word document, right? You can't see what I'm trying to show you on this. Can you? See if I can find an example of my crossbody. Anyways, so the crossbody is a great thing to have. Like I said, if it has pockets that are close to your body to put things that you want to keep close to you, that'd be great. I think that probably we're not going to need to exchange money on this trip. No, because the US dollar is pretty strong and used in Ecuador and in the Galapagos Islands. So I think we can just use US dollars. So you'll be carrying cash with you. From what I've heard, the Galapagos Islands are not a very credit card friendly area. So you'll probably need more cash than you expect to have, and you'll need it in small bills. But we'll talk about that as we get a little bit closer. So crossbody purse, I tried to bring that up, but it doesn't work. I'm sure you've seen them before. There's lots of them out there, preferably waterproof. I was talking with some folks that have gone. Can you see the Word document still? Is that still showing up on my, or is it something different? Okay, good. I have been talking with some folks who have gone on this trip, and they said that they have lost some luggage into the water, like off the boat. So if you have the opportunity to pack something that is waterproof, I think that's going to be probably a good thing to think about when buying luggage for this trip. We're only going to do carry-on, no checked bags. So I know there's only like 6 of us on this call right now, and I think that might cause some waves with some folks. But I'm telling you now, we're not going to have a lot of room for checked baggage. So the lighter we can pack, the better. This is going to be, like I said, a very water-friendly and water-focused trip. So probably like a couple, 2, 3, 4 bathing suits and shorts and like t-shirts and cover-ups, and that's it. So you're going to want to pack light and not bring anything bigger than a carry-on. Battery pack charger, I have one of those bricks, just a little brick, and you can USB plug it in to the wall so that you can hook it up to your phone. There's going to be a lot of animals and fun things to see. I know at least when I went to Italy and Greece this past summer, my phone was dead by like mid-afternoon. So it was really important to bring a battery charger, especially if you plan on taking a ton of pictures, which I'm sure that you will. Packing cubes, I haven't used these. I just got them though. because they were on sale on Amazon. So they come in like a 6-pack, and they're small, and then they get bigger, and you can like sort of chunk up your clothing, bathing suits in one, like cover ups in another, toiletries in another, et cetera, et cetera. And then they go inside your luggage, and they sort of like organize and make things smaller. So packing cubes might be a good idea. Bug spray, absolutely. As the sign, or as it says, what every kid wants, right? They're good stocking stuffers. Sunscreen, absolutely. I am a little concerned about the sunscreen aspect. I have to think about this a little bit more, because as you can clearly see my whiteness here on the screen shining at you from my living room. I need a lot of sunscreen. So I'm gonna have to think about that. And we're also on the equator. So maybe should we check out like a check bag just full of sunscreen? It's like chock full of sun. We may have to, I can see, yes, you're also redheaded and light skinned, I think, down there. Yeah. So I think we're gonna have to chat about packing some sunscreen in a bigger, like gallon sized, whatever. Anyways, if you don't burn as much as I do and you want to start packing sunscreen now, feel free. 3.4 ounces or smaller is what you can bring in a carry-on in a quart-sized bag. When I went this past summer to Greece, I figured that it would be pretty hot and sunny and that I would need sunscreen. So what I ended up doing was I got chewable toothpaste tablets. So they look like little breath mints, and you chewed them. So they were not liquid. I could just put them in my carry-on. I also got hair soap. So I used hair soap. So it was like a little circle of hair soap and conditioner. I didn't bring any lotions or anything like that. And my gallon-sized bag, or my quart-sized baggie, was packed just chock full of sunscreen. That's the only thing that was in there. And I was glad for that. So those are things to keep in mind for future reference as well. The chewable toothpaste tablets take a lot of getting used to, by the way. They don't taste good, but it saves you some liquid in your luggage if that's what you want to do. Plain earplugs. Not a terrible idea. A lot of planes nowadays are pretty quiet, but some of them are pretty loud, especially the small commuter planes that we go on. So if we're flying to Charlotte or Detroit or someplace to connect to Ecuador, some of those planes can be really loud. So if you're sensitive to loud noises, earplugs might be a great idea for the plane. If you don't have ear pods or want to listen to music through, another headphone kind of scenario. So that's a great idea. A camera. I don't even know how you would do that. Who develops film? I have no idea. I imagine it's digital at this point. I'm like old school, taking your film to like Walmart and getting the pictures back with the negatives and all that jazz. It's probably an SD card at this point, right? Like, is that how you do it? Or you plug it into your computer? Probably. Anyways, there are some really great waterproof cameras out there, especially since we're going to be doing a ton of snorkeling on this trip. A waterproof camera might be a great way to go, especially if you don't want to risk getting your phone wet in the ocean if your phone is not waterproof. So there you go. A journal. As we get a little bit closer, we'll talk about travel journals. I'm currently researching them, and I love to buy them, and then I bring them with me and I forget to fill them in on the trip. So I currently have a whole bunch of blank travel journals, but this time, seriously, I'm going to take some notes and make a journal. So if you're a journaler, it's a great thing to do at the end of the day, or even, in the beginning of the day at sunrise if you want to, and just journal about your day. And if anyone's going to do that, let me know, because maybe we'll do it together and hold me accountable for it. It's a great time to start thinking about clothes and shoes for the trip. Like I said, multiple bathing suits might be a good idea. Closed-toed sandals. I have a pair of Keens that I like to wear at camp, because camp is usually closed-toed. And those are great. I have Chacos as well that I wear, but they're not closed-toed. So those can get expensive, so if you're looking for gifts for folks to give you, a nice, good pair of like hiking kind of sandals would be great to get. Jacket, sweatshirt, you probably have those things already. Waist pack, fanny pack. Oh, travel pillow. I have to show you. But I don't care. So I got this travel pillow. It looks like an infinity scarf. So it's like an infinity travel pillow, and it's kind of fluffy. And my favorite part about this thing, it was hot. I was definitely sweating. I will 100% be sweating on this trip, but I don't care. I'm bringing it. So this travel pillow is like, it's an infinity kind of thing. And when I'm on the plane, like sometimes you're squished, like if you're in a middle seat or whatever. The great thing about this pillow is that you can like wrap your arms in it so that your arms like stay like next to your body, and then you can kind of like just nod off. But like you're not elbowing the person next to you, like your arms aren't all akimbo and like crazy. You can kind of like just wrap yourself up, and it's like a nice support, and it's really good. It's sweaty. I'm sweating right now. But I swear this is the best thing that I have purchased for travel in a very long time. Infinity pillow, it's on there. Who's Infinity pillow? They have a bunch of them on there. 100% would recommend this. Even if you're not going on this trip and you just travel a lot, especially in cars as well, this thing is a lifesaver. My kids have absconded with it a couple of times, but I got it back from them. I'm going to hide it again for this trip. So I would recommend that Infinity travel pillow. It's a game changer. Compression socks for the plane if you're old and slightly chubby like me. Compression socks for the plane might be a good choice for you. Maybe a good stocking stuffer probably. But socks that are comfy and moisture wicking for hiking around, especially if we're in Ecuador and you want to wear sneakers and it's not really a beach day or whatever. Socks that are comfy are always a good option because you don't want to get blisters. That's the worst. Luggage locks, if you're concerned about what's in your luggage, feel free to get locks. You won't be able to use them in the airports, but as we're kind of traveling around to the islands, could be good. Sink suds for washing any clothing. I actually found that pretty helpful. However, we have to be like in a place for a while for your clothes to be able to dry. And I was just washing clothes in the sink and it was fine. So if you're worried about only taking a carry-on and like if you're concerned about washing clothes and that kind of thing, sink suds might be a good option. And then my favorite, liquid IV. You have these to show you as well. Stopping you from my kitchen as I'm walking away. I'm coming back. These are going to actually be really important for this trip. I highly recommend looking for them right now. They're called liquid IVs. There's a lot of different kinds on the market right now. You can get Gatorade ones. They basically are a packet. They're like a little packet. These are strawberry flavored. And you put them in your water. And it's as if you drank like 3 glasses of water with the electrolytes and stuff in here. These were an absolute game changer when I was in Italy and Greece and it was 100 degrees out and we were all over the place. And I was dying. I could not drink enough water. So this is called Liquid IV. Like I said, there are other kinds on the market. I don't have stock in this company. I just find them to be a little bit tastier than some other stuff that's out there. You can get them at Costco, and I 100% recommend them for this trip because it's going to be the dry season, which means that it's going to be dry and hot. So these could be helpful. And that's about it, I think, on my list here. Let me see. Oh, a first aid kit. Yeah, any meds that you want to bring with you. I brought like a blister kit last time with me. I know they're not like super exciting, like, yay, it's Christmas morning and Santa has brought me like a small first aid kit with ibuprofen in it. Not crazy exciting. However, it can be helpful. And it's really good to start hoarding these things now, I think, because like I have been putting them on my dresser and I'm like, yes, I've got that one thing. And so I'm just like checking off my checklist right now. And I do realize this trip is like in a year and a half, but you can never be too prepared, right? So the other thing I'll mention is your donation page. Is everyone here familiar with your own personal donation page through EF Tours? Have you been on there? So when you log into your account, you can go to the payment info. There's like a little tab that drops down for payment info and click on donation page. There's a personal link that you can share with friends and family. So, if grandma lives in Florida and she's like, what would you like for Christmas this year? I don't know. Can I send you? How can I help you? You can send grandma this link and she can click on it and she can donate directly to your trip money so that you will be able to go. It's really great. It's really handy. This is something to share with family and friends, but not to share with businesses. So please don't like send this to, I don't know, M&T Bank in your town and be like, hey, dear president of M&T Bank in, I don't know, Pulaski, please donate to my trip. Like, that's not cool. Only because we have that 501c3, the nonprofit status, and there's a whole bunch of tax implications for businesses that donate like that. but if grandma or Uncle Leo or your sister who is in college and just wants to send you some cash monies to go for your trip, send them this link and have them pay into your personal donation page for the trip. You have a lot of time. And already I know that there's a couple of folks going on the trip that have raised like almost $1,000 through their own personal donation page. So I guess it just depends on who you know, and whether your parent is willing to share that donation page link out to folks as well. So take advantage of it. It's cool. People love to pay for this kind of thing. I would much rather pay for my kids to go to like Greek Peak for the weekend or something than to get them more Legos, as I said. I definitely have a thing against Legos, and it's mostly because I just stepped on a whole bunch before I started this meeting. So anyways, so people love to pay for experiences, especially when you tell them you're going to see penguins, right? Very cool. So there you go. Any questions, comments, concerns about this holiday gift giving list? Like I said, this is not comprehensive. It's just ideas, things that folks have found interesting and useful along the way. And some of these things I have, and I find them to be interesting and useful as well. So any questions, comments, concerns? Anybody have anything already that they use while they're traveling, that like my infinity pillow that is just like a must have?
No, but that donation page really works. My daughter's birthday was in September, and she shared like a little video that she made with everybody. She was like, don't buy me junk. Don't buy me Legos. Don't buy me junk. Please, please, please go give me like $5, $10. And my family did. They all just sent her cash. And I think she got over $1,000 automatically taken off of hers.
That's amazing. Yep.
And she did the same thing for Christmas. She was like, don't send me junk. Because I want to go to Galapagos. And so, I mean,
yeah, I love it. And especially if you can send them a personalized little video like she did, make I know the youth these days love to make like the PowerPoint presentations, like I'm going to the Galapagos, here's my PowerPoint presentation, do that kind of thing. People love to give you the gift of experience over junk.
Well, and we're military, so it's nice for us because like we're out here, all of our families, all on the West Coast. So they were like, this is perfect for us. They're like, we don't have to ship it. They're like,
people are far, if they're far away, they don't want to pop some stuff in the mail. They want to send you cash money.
So that works. But I did hear that sunscreen there for like a bottle of sunscreen is like $50.
Yeah.
So somebody told me, they're like, find out the hotel and either mail yourself a box of sunscreen, or they're like, start packing little bottles right now. They're like, start buying them and packing them.
And like I said, as we get closer, we'll talk about all those little tips and tricks. I really, the shampoo bar, I hated it. It was awful. I just didn't like, my hair looked like the straw, like the scarecrow from Wizard of Oz after my trip. But for 10 days, whatever, it was fine. It was fine. I would much rather have had the sunscreen than the shiny, luxurious hair. Not that my hair is luxurious by any stretch of the imagination anyway.
I'd rather have bug spray and sunscreen.
Yeah, it wasn't really a stretch for me. But I did not pack any liquids but sunscreen on my trip, and it was very good. So it can be done. It can be done.
Yeah, I've been buying, well, we found some swimsuits that were long sleeve for me because I'm very white.
Yep.
Like my kids say I look like mayonnaise, but I'm like,
I mean, you look tanner than I do though on this Zoom call here. So there you go.
That's because I was out in the sun and got burnt trying to do snow and stuff outside.
Yeah. The one thing that I would recommend, if you can find it, just because I'm a nerd this way, but if you can locate coral reef friendly sunscreen, because we are going to be swimming quite a bit. There are reef-friendly sunscreens out there that have less chemicals that bleach the coral reefs and are affecting the wildlife that we find in the water. So if you can find those, do it. I know that they have a ton of them at the Christmas tree shop in Syracuse. So if you have a Christmas tree shop near you, they have all sorts of great sunblock, and it's on sale right now because it's winter. So start stocking up now. Yep. But I will tell you that sunblock absolutely does expire. So don't buy anything that's going to expire before like 2025, because it does. And I have learned that the hard way. So there you go. Any other questions or comments about the holiday gift guide? And you have another Christmas before, or Hanukkah, or whatever you celebrate. You have another holiday season before this trip as well. So plenty of opportunity. Oh, I would definitely recommend a hat. That wasn't on my list, but like a nice wide brims, like a straw hat with a strap. just in case it's windy. That was in like super, super handy on trips this past summer when it was very hot and very windy at the same time. So anyways, all right, you want to learn some stuff about the Galapagos? Let's go through 20 interesting facts about the Galapagos Islands. I was lazy, I'm going to admit it to you, and I did not put this in a fancy presentation for you. I'm ripping this directly from the website on which I found it. So don't judge me. The information's all there. All right, here we go. I'm gonna just bring this up and I'm gonna share it with you and we're gonna talk about it. Just kidding, I have no idea what I'm doing. Please hold. There we go. Oh goodness, here's a little snapshot of what I'm like on a trip, right? It's gonna be amazing though, I'm telling you. All right, can you see 20 fun facts about the Galapagos Islands? Yes? Yes, fantastic. All right, so this is from a travel group. They want you to book through them to go to the Galapagos. So I'm thinking this is probably pretty legit. And I definitely read this ahead of time, so I know most of it's pretty legit. So, hold on, no, you cannot help us. We already have a trip. 97% of the Galapagos is a national park. You probably already knew this, right? So there's so many animals here that are endangered. They're on the endangered or threatened species list. This is the UNESCO Biosphere Reserve. A lot of the islands people can't get to. People aren't even allowed to be on the islands here. So there are studies, there are current studies, research projects, research going on in the Galapagos Islands. It's largely like just a crazy scientific experiment. And it's wonderful. And it's one of the reasons that I'm really excited to go here. So the Galapagos Park does collect an entrance fee, but we are going as part of this group, so we're not gonna have to worry about that, so don't fear. And only about 30,000 people live there. And I imagine that it's mostly tourist folks that live there, folks that are part of the tourist industry down there. And I can't imagine that they would count the people that go down there to do research. So I'm excited to visit this national park and one of a UNESCO Biosphere Reserve sites. Oh, there's some folks walking through some cactus. That's why the closed-toed shoes are going to be important, because there's defo cactus there. I did not know this, actually. Galapagos has active volcanoes. So over the past 100 years or so, there's been several volcanic eruptions. I didn't know that. We are going to see lava, I think some lava fields in Ecuador when we go to Ecuador and sort of go around there. I'm not sure if we're going to see any lava places, lava caves in the Galapagos themselves, although I know that's definitely on our itinerary. So I'm not sure whether it's going to be on the islands or whether it's in Ecuador at some point, but we are going to be visiting some caves that have been naturally made by lava flow, which is insanely cool. As a result of the active volcanoes on the islands, the number of islands is up for debate. So there's about 19 islands and dozens of islets, which are like baby islands. But because there's so much volcanic activity there, they are popping up new islands all the time. So if you've seen like Moana, you know, similarly to that, like islands are coming out of the ocean all the time because of lava and volcanic activity and plate tectonics and things that are moving around down there. So hey, you never know, by the time we get there in 2024, there might be a brand new island down there. So here are some of the islands that we are going to be visiting. We're definitely going to Santa Cruz. I know that we're going to Isabella Island. I think our snorkeling adventure is going to take us to the coast of Isabella Island. I don't think, and I think we're going to San Cristobal. I think those are the three main islands that we're visiting. I don't think we're going to Santiago, but I could be wrong about that. So the three main ones are San Cristobal, Santa Cruz, and Isabella Islands that we're going to be going to. Ah, yes, the boobies. There are three varieties of colorful boobies, which we will all, I'm sure, enjoy seeing while we're down there. So if you've ever heard of the blue-footed booby, there's actually three other kinds of booby, which I didn't realize. I thought it was all blue-footed, but there's not. There's the Nazca, the red-footed, and the blue-footed booby. So these guys are all part of the gannet group. I'm a bird nerd. You've heard me say this before, I'm sure. So I'm really excited to see these guys. I also really want to see frigate birds, and I think I've shown you a picture of them before, the ones with the big red bubble on their chest. And they look like pterodactyls when they're sort of flying over the ocean. So I'm excited to see boobies, only because of their beautiful plumage. Like, look at that guy, he's so weird, look at his feet. I love it. Why do they have such colorful feet? Who knows? Oh, there's the red-footed booby. He's pretty. Anyone know? Why are flamingos pink? Why are they pink?
Because of their food source.
Yeah, it's because of their food source. And it's the same with boobies. Their food source dictates what color their feet are. So I'll come back up to the little blurby blurb here. Red-footed boobies, they use trees. Blue-footed like walk around the ground. Their distinctive diets are responsible for the pigmentation in their feet, just like flamingos. And we're going to see flamingos when we go down to the Galapagos as well. But I did not realize that their feet are different colors because of what they eat. It's kind of neat. I wonder what makes them blue. Maybe we'll find out. Do some research. Next time we meet, come back and tell me why blue-footed boobies are blue as opposed to red. I imagine that like maybe shrimps, like a flamingo would eat, or blue-green algae, maybe something like that, but who knows? Anyways, they're cute and I love them. My next favorite bird, penguins. This is very weird. There's like 20 different kinds of species of penguin. All of them are located below the equator. So every one of the penguin species is in the southern hemisphere. They live in Antarctica, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, and the Galapagos Islands. But this is the only place in the world where they're part of the northern hemisphere. They're the second smallest penguin species in the world, the first one being the little blue penguin that live in Australia. And the Galapagos penguin, this is their natural habitat. So what do penguins eat? Who knows? Fishy, little fish, little fish, little fish. So there's a current called the Humboldt Current that comes up the sort of our end of South America here past Chile and up towards the Panama Canal, and it kind of swings up this way. And there's all sorts of delicious fish that live in this current, and that is what the penguins eat. So it's a great place for them to be. And like I said, they're the only penguin species that live in North America, or in the Northern Hemisphere, I should say, not North America. And I hope we see them, so fingers crossed. Have you guys seen penguins in real life before you've been to the zoo? We actually, in the Syracuse Zoo, we have the Humboldt penguins. So they're sort of similar, but a lot bigger and meaner, actually. Penguins are really mean. I don't know if you knew that or not, but it's true. Anyways, I'm excited to see this guy in his little weird face. Marine iguanas, excellent swimmers. They're like Godzilla. And so they're down in the ocean swimming around, and they're eating all the algae off the rocks underneath the water down there. So I'm very excited to see them swimming around and possibly swimming close to me. I don't know. I know that I've Googled this a couple of times, like when is a good time to visit the Galapagos, and should I be going there in July? And actually the answer is yes, we should be going there in July because it's actually the dry season while we're going to be down there. So you can read it yourself here, but just a quick summary. It's temperate year round. It doesn't really get cold and it doesn't really get super hot. I was concerned because it's right on the equator. So when I think of the equator, I think of like hot, like really hot, super sunny. I might die, like I need sunblock, and also like just, I don't know, but it's going to be bad. When I read this though, I feel a little bit better about what's going to be happening while I'm there. December through, let's see, 2 different seasons. Dry season, slightly cooler, and extends from June through November. So we're definitely going to be there in the dry season, which I'm very excited about. It's going to be slightly barren, colorful, and arid while we're there, which is why these things are going to come in handy, these liquid IVs, because the air is going to be really dry while we're there. So even though it might not be like hot, it's still going to be dry. And if your house is dry like mine in the wintertime, you know that can get annoying real fast. So it's going to be nice and breezy. And the last sentence here is interesting to me because it says it provides a wonderful breeze and signals an increase in marine activity, which is great. Because I want to see those penguins and those marine iguanas. What's our next one? Oh, it's more of that. I don't know what that's a picture of. Any time of year, so good. Yeah. That's about booking with them. The amount of daylight remains the same all year round. I imagine I probably knew that like deep down in the pits of my brain because it's on the equator. So you have 12 hours of sunlight each day and 12 hours of darkness. It's evenly split. Kind of weird. No need for daylight savings, so we don't have to deal with that. Long live the Galapagos giant tortoise. I know a few of you are really excited about seeing these guys. So they can live for over 100 years. That's kind of neat. I love that. One of them, Lonely George, you heard of Lonely George? He was kicking around when Darwin was on the islands. I think he's since passed away, but that was a really old tortoise. He was like almost 200 years old, which is crazy. So I'm very excited to see these guys. Swimming with sea turtles. I know some of you have also mentioned sea turtles are on your list. So on our snorkeling adventure, I imagine that we're going to see lots of sea turtles, sharks, marine iguanas, hopefully some birds swimming around. I see your face though, not like huge sharks, like Jaws level sharks, like little black tip sharks and like little tiny sharks probably that don't eat you. I hope they don't. They're probably small. I think they're small and like friendly, so don't worry. Anyways, we're gonna focus mostly on these sea turtles, which we're gonna see. And that's really neat that they possibly could have been living along dinosaurs. Who knows? At least that's what this picture says. Intersection of 3 tectonic plates. So as I mentioned before, this is why there's so much volcanic activity down there. Things are constantly moving. And if you've learned about this in school, you know, the Earth's crust has these plates and they kind of grind against each other. And if they push on each other, they can form mountains. If they come apart or grind too much, lava from the inside of the Earth can come up through them and form volcanoes and new islands and all the things. So that's it. Charles Darwin was chilling there. That's number 12. And that's why it's so interesting for scientists. And that's why people are doing so much research there. Really, if you're into any kind of ecology, this is like a bucket list for most folks that are into animal behavior and ecology and all that sort of thing. 800 species of mollusks and 400 species of fish. I know a lot of people don't really think of like fish and mollusks as like something cool to see. What's a mollusk? Anyone know? It's like a clam, right? Yeah, they're like clams and scallops and things like that. It's the shelled animals that like do the things, right? So those are mollusks, and then of course the fish here. So we're gonna see them when we're snorkeling, and I can't wait. The word Galapagos. So the word Galapagos refers to the Castilian word meaning riding saddle. So if you know anything about turtles, which I just happen to know a lot about them, honestly, the top part of their shell is called the carapace. And if you look at the carapace here, it kind of looks like a saddle. And so that's where the word Galapagos comes from. So there you go. Turtles also have a bottom shell. There we go. The temperature is quite comfortable. I don't do Celsius yet, but I'm going to learn that math. Everyone else in the world does it, so I'm going to get on board with that. 79 and 86 degrees, but I imagine probably what we're going to see is like 78 to like 80-ish while we're there. As I mentioned, it's the dry season, and it's probably a little bit colder, but not really colder because like 80 is perfect. And along the coastline, it might be a little bit breezy. So we'll keep that in mind as we're packing as well. Less than 79,000 visitors tour the Galapagos on liveaboards. So I imagine boats, probably what this tour company does, a year. So I think they limit people because it's so ecologically rich and protected. They limit folks from going. So I'm excited for us, and we're going to be one of the 79,000 visitors in 2024. Peak season is June through August. That's okay for us, though. We can make new friends. It's a seal. I bet we're going to be accompanied by Galapagos National Park certified naturalists. I'm going to go ahead and say that EF Tourists probably will do that. So as our numbers fluctuate, we'll see where we're at when we actually take the tour, but you can see here that 16 visitors per guide. So we may have 1 or 2 guides and break up into smaller groups as we're doing this. And that's going to be one of our local guides that we often talk about at EF Tours, who knows everything about the island, who probably lives there, has probably been doing this for a long time, and will be excited to tell us all about what we're learning. Geology is constantly in flux. We already learned about that. Some of the islands are sinking, some are rising. Ocean currents are unpredictable, of course, because like they're islands in the middle of the ocean. So there you go. I'm hoping it's not like an El Nino year for us, because I feel like El Ninos make things a little bit crazy. But I guess we'll see. We have so much time. And then I think one of the final ones here, we have 2 left. Wild animals don't have a lot of fear of people. So sometimes you can see videos of like people creeping up on seals and sea lions, that sort of thing, but it's not a great idea. Because I've also seen a lot of videos of people getting like bitten and chased, and like it's just not great. Also, it's illegal, and we certainly don't want anyone to go to jail, Galapagos jail, while we're down there, because the animals that live here are protected. And it's really just respectful to not touch them and snuggle them, even though I really want to. It's going to be hard. We can do it though. And then the last fact is a weird one, I guess. Leave your message in a barrel. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's going on there. During the 18th century, island of Florenia, a barrel was used as a postal box. You can leave a letter or postcard and it'll get mailed out from the Galapagos. I don't know, that seems pretty cool. I know there's a lot of flora and fauna. This is really, like I said, a naturalist trip. So that's what we're going to be learning about. If you're a geology nerd, this is also going to be a great trip for you to see some of these volcanoes and lava and talk about the oceans and the islands rising and falling and that sort of thing. But that's it. Any questions? Do you have anything you want to talk about? This is where we're going. And these are some of the awesome things that we're going to be seeing. I can't wait. I wish it was like now. I want to go right now. I'm incredibly excited about this. Do you have any questions, any comments, anything you want to see? Are you still concerned about sharks? Don't be concerned about the sharks. They're little. They're probably little.
I'm curious to try the guinea pig. My daughter says it's gross, but I want to try it personally.
Yeah, I too. Like I said, I will be, me and you will be there. We're going to eat them together and it's going to be delicious.
Yeah, my daughter was like, I'm not sitting at that table. I'm like, then you can go sit somewhere else. I don't care. I'm like, I'll be sitting there by myself eating it. I was like, I want to try it.
Yep, gotta try it. Gotta try the guinea pig.
You want to try it too, right? Yeah, we want to try it too.
Yep.
Okay. Well, there's more people in that are willing to try it.
I know I can find a picture. You want me to find a picture? Or should it be a surprise? They're called cavies down there. Oh, guinea pig to eat in Peru. Oh no, Peru. Am I in the wrong part of the world here? Cuy. They're called cuy. I'm going to find a picture. Oh no, maybe I shouldn't show you these.
Because we looked up a lot of like the food, the common foods. Because my daughter's a vegetarian, so we were looking up some of it, and she's like, "Oh, I can handle the fruits and like tropical fruits and rice." And I'm like, "Okay."
All right, I'm going to show you a picture. Look away if you do not want to see this picture. All right, here we go. There he is. That's what we're looking at. Can you see him? Uh-oh. Don't send me more news. Oh, go away. There he is. So, yes, here he is. And here is why. So they're really sustainable. Have you heard this? I'm on my like soapbox right now, right? Like in your house, you could have like 15 of these, and they have babies all the time. When they have babies, they have like 10 or 15 babies at a time, and they're small. So like, it's not like a cow or a pig or something that you have to have a lot of land for and like food and all these things. Like they're so sustainable, and that's why people eat them down there, because you can just eat them and they make more automatically because that's what they do. And then they're little and they don't eat a lot. So it's great. It's like cockroaches and like insects in like Indonesia and Southeast Asia and stuff. You can fit a lot of crickets and cockroaches in your house and raise them up, and they're a really good source of protein. So that's it.
I heard they were very high in protein, so
yep,
it makes sense that you would eat them.
it makes sense. So it's called cuy in Peru. Cuy, I think. And it's a part of tradition since Inca times. Like that's pretty cool. They don't keep them as pets, they keep them as food. I do love capybaras though, I have to tell you. They're one of my favorite animals. So I'm gonna try not to picture eating a baby capybara while I'm eating this guinea pig. Yeah, anything else? All right, so well, that's all I have for you tonight, unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about. As I mentioned, oh, do you have something? Is that a note? Did you write something down? Do you have facts? What is it? I can't hear you. You're muted. Unmute.
I took notes.
You did? Oh, excellent. So your job though next time then is to maybe tell us why the blue-footed boobies' feet are blue and what they eat. Okay.
Okay.
And next time I'll be in touch, probably like I said, after the first of the year for another meeting, and we're gonna start figuring out what you all want to talk about, what you want to learn more about. I've actually for chaperone. I have found someone who worked at the zoo for like 30 years to go with us. She's an animal expert. She's probably the best person that we'll be able to bring with us. She worked directly with animals like monkeys and penguins and lions at the zoo. She made a career out of it. So she's going to be really helpful and useful to us in this trip, especially. So that's going to be really great. She's going to start coming to meetings. So if you have any animal questions, she's going to be your person. Otherwise, stay excited because this is going to be really, really cool. So be in touch. I'm going to be in touch with you about cookies, and then continue to follow the Facebook page. Feel free to post things, pictures or questions, comments, whatever you see that is cool and Galapagos related, post in that page. We're going to stay in touch, and we're going to go on the trip of a lifetime. Does that sound good? Excellent. No, it doesn't. You're out. All right. That's right. So have a great night. Thank you for hanging out with me on this cold, snowy Sunday night. Think of warm tropical temperatures and eating guinea pigs and meeting friendly sharks in the ocean. And I will see you in a couple of weeks, okay?
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, thank you.
We'll see you soon, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.